In this video, I'm going to be talking about the new miracle hair product I have found, and this is Moringa oil. First, I'm going to tell you about all the benefits, why you should even want to use this oil in your hair. Then I'm going to show you how to make it and how to use it. So if you're interested in this, trust me, if you're trying to grow your hair, you will be interested in this, and who knows, this might give rice water a run for its money. So if you don't know me, my name is Angelica. I post videos twice a week, every single week, but occasionally I do post extra videos on Fridays, which I will be doing more often now. So if you have any suggestions for what you'd like to see as an extra video on a Friday, let me know in the comment sections below. And for right now, if you just want hair videos, you know for sure another one is going to be coming soon. So hit the subscribe button, it is right down there, as well as the bell icon. Make sure you hit the bell so you get notifications every single time I post. Without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Okay, so here's the thing. I have heard a lot about moringa, and I used to take moringa, like I used to eat it in my food a lot. Then I just kind of forgot about it for no particular reason. I cannot even give you a reason. I saw no side effects. There was nothing wrong at all. Somehow I just forgot about it and I stopped using it. Then I remembered it recently and I was like, you know what? This needs to come back in my diet. So here's the thing about moringa. Moringa is an amazing superfood. So it's amazing for hair growth if you ingest it, but it's also amazing if you put it on your hair. So this video is going to be talking about both the benefits you can get from ingesting it, as in eating it with your food, and also the benefits of having it topically on your hair. Now, I always say this, if something is edible, and usually made to be edible, you will get 10 times better effects by ingesting it first and then putting some on your hair rather than just put it on your hair, because the hair that's on your head is already out of your scalp. It's already grown out. So you can only maintain it and improve it a little bit. But if you can boost hair from the follicles before it grows out, that's when you start to see massive changes. So I would highly suggest, even when I give tips like things for like olive oil or having more protein. If you eat more protein, your hair is going to get stronger from the inside out. Sure, protein treatments will help a lot, but having more protein in your diet is also going to help. Just the same way, if you moisturize your hair a lot and it still feels extremely dry, it might be because you're actually dehydrated and you need to drink more water. So this is what I'm focusing on. A lot of this information I got about moringa when you ingest it is actually from this awesome blog that I found. So I will link the link to that blog in the description box below in case you want to check it out. So let's get into the first thing that's so amazing about moringa. So moringa has an extremely high source of iron, and among vegetables, it's one of the sources with the highest amount of iron. And iron is usually something that you find in meat and lots of meat products, but in moringa, it's actually extremely high. And just like lots of the other vitamins that it has, somehow this is just an amazing plant that has such a high concentration of iron. And if you're wondering why iron is important to your hair, iron is important to your hair because iron is what carries oxygen to your follicles, to your scalp, and to the rest of your body inside your blood. So if you have more iron, that means there's more iron to send more oxygen to your scalp and your follicles to boost hair growth. Studies have been done and they have shown that a deficiency in iron has also resulted in less hair, thinner hair, extra shedding, hair loss, and also just thinning of hair in general. So if you have a low iron deficiency, having some moringa in your diet will actually help boost that, among other things as well. Just remember all these tips I'm giving you with how amazing moringa is. Think of it like a vitamin or a supplement. It is not a replacement. So don't say, I was gonna eat meat today or I was gonna eat beans, but instead I'm gonna have moringa. No, you can have meat and possibly you can sprinkle a little bit of moringa inside your beef stew or however you're gonna eat it, and then it's gonna add an extra punch. Nothing is perfect by itself. Even if you just eat meat and say, oh, I need protein, so I'm just gonna eat beef and I'm not gonna have any carbohydrates and not have this. You know what I mean? So everything always works well together. So please think of that as I'm giving you these tips. So the next thing is moringa has a high concentration in zinc. Now, zinc is one of those things that's highly beneficial to your hair, and it's not something that's found in high quantities in a lot of foods. It is found in eggs, and usually you can even see it a little bit, especially when you overboil an egg and it has that like gray ring around it. So sometimes you can see zinc and magnesium and stuff like that, but it's not in a lot of food because it's a micronutrient, so you don't need a lot of it. A little bit goes a long way. But if you don't have a very balanced diet, it might not be very easy to get that. So adding moringa to your diet can help that. Lack of zinc has also shown to cause hair loss and excessive hair shedding in hair. So adding moringa to your diet will actually help this a lot as well. Lack of zinc has also shown links to having poor hair growth, and also ingesting more zinc in your diet actually helps with awakening dormant follicles. So you guys know what I love to do when it comes to awakening dormant follicles. Scalp massages are amazing for that, but if you want an added boost, add some moringa to your diet. And by the way, if you don't know how to have moringa, moringa is sold in many different forms. It's sold in powder form. You can just have the leaves. We actually had a moringa tree in the yard, and then I think termites ate it, so we have to replant one. Depending on where you are, where I am right now is Zambia, and there's literally moringa everywhere. There's lots of moringa trees. You could go to someone's house and be like, "Do you have a moringa tree?" And they would probably have one, and you can just get some of the leaves and boil them or whatever, or you could dry them and make your own powder. My favorite form is powder, only because I can store it for a long time and it won't go bad, and it's very easy to add to foods. If you're making pancakes or you're making anything with a sauce or you're making tea, you can just add a little half teaspoon. Like, tea is actually a really good way to have it if you don't like it in foods. It doesn't have a strong taste, so it's very easy to incorporate into foods across the board. So you can just Google it. I'm sure you can find a type of moringa to incorporate into your diet. Another amazing thing with moringa is actually something that's pretty similar to rice water, and this is it contains a lot of amino acids. And amino acids are like broken down proteins that can easily absorb into your hair and into your body. So having foods that are rich in amino acids can actually really boost your hair growth, because amino acids is what your hair needs. Now, the specific amino acids that are found in moringa are, I wrote them down because lots of these I've never heard of them before, but they are essential. And the ones that are specifically essential for hair growth are the ones that moringa contains a lot of. And this is arginine, cysteine, lysine, methionine. I will write these words on the screen because I wrote them down instead of just reading it from where I read it from. I might have spelled them wrong, I don't know, but I'll write them on the screen and you guys can see what they are. Yeah, just ignore the sound in the background. It's a bird whistling by my window. Anyway, if you do not have a balanced diet already, then adding this can actually really help. But as I said, this is not a replacement. Try and balance out your diet, but while you're doing that, add moringa and you actually see a huge change in your hair growth. Okay, so the fourth thing I decided to separate because it also has vitamin C and vitamin E, which are extremely essential for hair growth. They contain nice fatty acids, and also vitamin C, if you just haven't read about it just by itself, vitamin C is essential for helping absorb other nutrients. So like if you take a biotin, usually they'll advise you to take a vitamin C because it helps you absorb it better and helps the uptake into your body. It also helps fight free radicals. Vitamin C and vitamin E together help fight free radicals. And free radicals are, they can really cause a lot of damage to your hair because they can cause premature graying, they can cause dryness, because I think they're called free radicals because you can't really pinpoint specifically what the particles are called, but it's just like the difference between if you wash your face constantly with distilled water or you have a shower filter, you start to see the difference. There's so many different birds and insects making noises. Depending on what you're going to use in your hair or your face, you might start to see a difference even if it's just plain water, because there's a difference in the free radicals that are roaming around. So adding moringa to your diet, which contains a high level of vitamin C and vitamin E, will greatly help fight that. The fifth thing is something that even surprised me because I didn't realize that moringa contains omega-3 fatty acids. And if you've heard of omega-3 fatty acids, most of the time, the best place to get that where you're here is through fish, specifically salmon, however you pronounce that, other kinds of fatty fish. Those are the things that have the best sources of omega-3 fatty acids. But moringa actually contains omega-3 fatty acids, and it's one of the best vegetable sources in case you're vegetarian or vegan, or you just don't eat fish or anything else that might contain these fatty acids. Omega-3 fatty acids can be found in moringa, and these are so healthy for your overall health and of course your hair as well. So these fatty acids help plump up your hair. They help your hair look thicker. So first of all, you have more hairs on your head, and then the hairs will look more moisturized and plump, which automatically makes your hair look thicker. And all these points together are just So amazing. Now you might be wondering, okay, now I see, fine, I'm going to eat some of it. How am I going to use it on my hair? Now there's multiple ways that you find online for how to use this, but for my personal best, I actually haven't found any recipe for this. I just figured out how to make it by myself and I find it the most effective. So moringa oil is my preferred way of using moringa, but there are other ways. Like people would say, like when you make your hair mask, especially if you're doing like a DIY, maybe you could do like aloe vera, you could put some moringa in there. And if you do just like maybe an avocado mask or whatever deep conditioner you use, and you add some moringa powder into that, a lot of people prefer to use it that way and then put it on your hair and wash it off. For me, I prefer for the moringa to stay in my hair. And second of all, this is just my logic. I think that the particles, even of powder, even if it's very fine, I think those particles are still too large to absorb into my hair. Just the same way, if you use egg protein, like if you just beat an egg and put it in your hair, you will get some protein, but unless you're using hydrolyzed egg protein, the particles are just too big to easily absorb into your hair, so I don't think it's effective enough. For me, what I prefer to do is to get any oil that's my favorite or that I have at the time, and what I have right now is olive oil. So let's go to the demo so you can actually see exactly how I make the oil. Okay, so I'm starting with this olive oil. It is by Clover. Olive Pride is the name. It is extra virgin olive oil. You want to make sure you use a good quality olive oil. Don't use an olive oil blend, anything that mixed with any other oils. Just use pure olive oil or whatever other oil you want to use, like almond oil, macadamia nut oil, avocado oil, as long as it's a pure oil. This is the oil I had on hand at this point, so this is what I'm using. The best way to tell if you have good quality olive oil is if you are using an olive oil that looks very yellow or green. That's why it is called liquid gold. I'm using about half a cup of this, which makes about a full bottle of oil. So if you don't want to make this much, you can use a quarter cup and you'd still get a pretty good amount. And I'm using this plastic jug simply because it's clear and you can see through. Ordinary, I'd use something metal or glass. So now I'm using this moringa powder. As you can see, it looks super healthy. It is very green, and this is 100% moringa. It is not mixed with anything else. And I will be putting 2 semi-heaped teaspoons of moringa into this oil. So of course, if you're using a quarter cup of oil, you can only do 1 teaspoon. It is actually very affordable because you need very little. It is super potent whether you ingest it or use it in your hair. So now you want to make sure that you mix it very, very thoroughly. You don't want any like bubbles that have like a little bit of powder on the inside. You want to make sure everything is nicely mixed and incorporated, and this is at room temperature, but we will be heating it up, which is why I say if you're doing this at home, I'd suggest you use something metal or glass, something like Pyrex, so it doesn't break if you heat it up. That would be the best, but this was the best container I could find to show you guys on camera, which is why I'm using plastic. And now I'm using a pot and I'm pouring in hot water. I boiled this water and then I let it cool down for 10 minutes. So as you can see, it's still very hot. It has steam, and we are going to be putting the moringa into this. You do not want to do this on the stove because it's going to heat up your oil. You don't want to do this in the microwave because it's going to kill all the proteins and it will kill all the nutrients, and there'll literally be no point in doing this. So you just want it to heat up, and after it's sudden for a few minutes, you can see that it even starts to lighten up, and you can see the oil separating a little bit. So once it gets very light, you just want to mix it up again. And then I left this to just sit until the water completely cooled. And once the water was completely cooled, I took the jug out of the water and I let it sit overnight to infuse. And this is what I was left with. Everything sank to the bottom, and then all I was left with was the highly infused oil. And you'll be able to tell that this actually worked because your oil will be green. So now I'm just using this Do Grow bottle. There's already a little bit of olive oil in there. The oil already finished, and I didn't want to get a new bottle. I don't want to waste plastic, so I decided to use the same bottle, and I just added to the olive oil that was already in there. That is the moringa oil. You can see it is super green. And now I'm just going to be adding a few of my essential oils to this moringa oil because I do have braids in right now, and I love to put oils on my scalp, and I love to get the benefits of other oils as well. So I am putting in a couple drops of tea tree oil, about 10 drops since this is a full bottle, and this has antibacterial and antimicrobial properties which are amazing for itchiness and dandruff or anything like that. And now I'm using peppermint oil, which is great for stimulating your scalp and increasing blood flow to that area, which will mean that the moringa oil will work even better. So I'm putting about two droppers full, which is about 15 drops of peppermint oil. Then you just want to shake it up and your oil is basically done. And then we do have a little bit of leftover of the powder mixed with the oil. I'll mix that in a deep conditioner. So give this video a thumbs up if you want to see a video where I mix that in. I'd love to do that for you. Okay, so as you saw, that is how I make the oil. So in case I didn't explain it in that clip, I first of all do not boil your oil. Don't make it too hot because you're going to defeat the purpose of a lot of the nutrients. So I like my moringa oil to just kind of sit and infuse into the oil and get all the nutrients that way. And then I just strain out the powder, or sometimes maybe I would leave it in for a while. But the reason why I prefer to do it like that is because I think that way it extracts most of the nutrients in the most potent way possible, and it sort of concentrates it. And I am pretty sure that they do sell moringa essential oil. So if you don't want to go through this whole how to make it, you can just buy moringa essential oil, and that way it is completely concentrated like any other oil, like rosemary oil or any other essential oil like rosemary oil or peppermint oil, and that way you only need a couple of drops and you still get the same effect. But if you want to get the concentrated effect and you want to just do it quickly by yourself as a DIY, I would suggest using the oil method, because personally I just find that it is more concentrated, it makes more sense to me, and I see better results. So I'm going to show you how to apply it as well. Take note, this is not today because my oil is still, infusing. So let's go to me showing you how to use the oil. Okay, so this is the oil. As you can see, it is a super dark green, super potent oil. So there's two ways you can use it. This is the first way. My hair is already moisturized, by the way, and this was the next morning. You can see I was looking rough. I just woke up. But anyway, all you have to do is put it down the lines of your hair, or just put it directly on your scalp with the bottle, and then you can go ahead and rub it in well. And of course, if your hair is not in braids, you can still just put this all over your scalp. This is the first way. But if you don't want to use too much oil and you just want a little bit, you can do the second way. Just put a couple drops on your fingertips, rub it between your fingertips to warm it up a bit, and then go ahead and just massage different sections of your scalp. And when your fingers get dry and you feel like you need a little bit more oil, you can go ahead and add a little bit more. Just do a thorough scalp massage. I do have a video on how to do scalp massages in braids and when your hair is out, and you'll see such a major difference. And then I always like to coat the ends of my hair with a little bit of oil. Of course, moisturize your hair first so that you can seal in the moisture, and trust me, you will see amazing results. I hope you try this and let me know how it goes for you. Continue using this oil, and I'm going to let you know the progress as time moves forward, but I know it is going to be 100% amazing. And let me know if you have tried it or if you're going to try it in the comment section below. I would love to know. Also note, people are probably going to ask, what do you think is better, rice water or moringa? The best thing is rice water is a water, like a conditioner, and moringa oil is an oil, so you can absolutely use them together or separately. I don't think I can compare if one is better than the other, unless you're asking about something specific, because they are totally different products. It's like comparing a shampoo to a deep conditioner. I don't think you can compare them in terms of which one's better. They both do what they're supposed to do the correct way. If you want more moringa videos or just any other hair growth videos, hit my face right there to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so you don't forget to get notifications every single time I post. Hit my face here if you want to see other stuff that doesn't usually get posted on this channel. Watch the two videos on the side of the screen right here. If you'd like to see anything else, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!